All right, hello everyone. My name is Sarah Clark, and I am a second-year graduate student in Dr. Rick Besson's lab. So in Dr. Besson's lab, we do a lot of work with different row crops in the field, and that is primarily what my work has focused on for the last 2 years. So I grow brassica crops. Brassica is a really diverse family of plants. The most notable types of brassica are broccoli and cauliflower, but it also includes collard greens and mustard greens. And so the main part of my thesis is focusing on the control of the main pest of that family, which is harlequin bug. So harlequin bug is a type of stink bug. And you might already be familiar with stink bugs. You might have heard of the brown marmorated stink bug, or you might have seen green stink bugs in the garden or in your house. Harlequin bug is also a type of stink bug, but it is really unique. First of all, it has very unique coloration. It's bright orange and black. It is super colorful. Another thing that makes it unique is that it is able to communicate with other harlequin bugs with a hormone. And that hormone tells all the other harlequin bugs to come and congregate together. So there can be one harlequin bug, and then soon after that, very, very many will follow. So harlequin bugs are also really mobile, and they can cover a lot of area. They can cover a large field, and they can cause a lot of destruction. They are very difficult to manage. And so the main way that they are managed right now in the industry is through pyrethroids. Pyrethroids are a synthetic chemical pesticide, and they are very effective in killing harlequin bug and many other bugs on many different kinds of crops. But they do have one downside, and that downside is that they are very harmful to pollinators and also to bees. So I'm sure y'all would agree, bees and pollinators are vital to our life, to our food systems, and they definitely need to be preserved. And so that is one of the main focuses of my thesis. I'm looking for alternative methods to control harlequin bug, and more specifically, organic alternative methods. So one method that I've been looking at is actually essential oils. So you might have heard of essential oils before. You might already be familiar with them. They're very common in a lot of household products as well as cleaning products, but they're also really gaining popularity in scientific research, especially over the last decade. And there's been a number of really interesting findings through that research. And so one of the main findings is that essential oils have repellent or deterrent properties. And this happens in one of two ways. It can happen either through the very strong smell that the essential oils have. The insects, they don't want to come to a plant that they normally would come to. If they smell that smell, they're repelled. Also, essential oils, when you apply them, coat the entire plant, and they make that plant taste very bad to the pests. So it deters them. They don't want to taste the plant. It's gross to them. But one other interesting part of the research has suggested that essential oils could be used because of their insecticidal properties, theoretically. So they could outright kill a pest and act like a pesticide. So that is where this field comes in. That's where this research is happening. So one thing that you want to be careful or cautious about when using essential oils is the fact that they can cause phytotoxicity. And what I mean by phytotoxicity is that they can cause damage or burning on the leaves. And at really high concentrations, they can even sometimes cause plant death, which is really undesirable, of course. So this field here is going to be testing phytotoxicity and its effects. So I wanted to share just a little bit about our research process. I won't go into too much detail, but so I'm going to be testing 3 essential oil products, and they are going to be tested at 3 different concentrations: high, medium, and low. And I just know from personal experience, a lot of the essential oil products on the market right now are brand new, And oftentimes it's not clear in the instructions how to mix them or at what concentration to mix them at. And obviously a farmer interested in using essential oils doesn't want to take the risk of burning their crop. And so what I'm trying to do is figure out the proper concentration for the essential oils to be mixed at so that you can get the most benefit. There's also the other side where if you mix the essential oils too low, they won't have the effect that you want. So that's what this field right here is testing. So this field was planted just a couple weeks ago. It is both broccoli and cauliflower. And as you see the flags here, we have sectioned the field off into 40 different sections. And each one of those sections is going to have an essential oil treatment at a different concentration. And then we're going to measure the effects of each concentration of essential oil and see if they cause phytotoxicity. And if they do cause phytotoxicity, we're going to see the other results that phytotoxicity could cause, because even though the most visual part of phytotoxicity is the burning or damaging on the leaves, it also causes other negative effects as well. And one of those effects is that it can affect the growth rate of your plants. It can make the plants stunted, it can make them grow more slow or sluggish and not develop as well. And so we are going to be measuring the growth rate of all these plants in correlation with the essential oil concentrations. Another thing that phytotoxicity can cause is that it can affect the yield. So because the plants are growing slower and not developing as much, the heads on broccoli and cauliflower might end up being smaller, they might end up being damaged, and obviously you want a really pristine product to sell to the market. You want big, nice heads, and so we're going to be measuring the width of each of these heads and seeing if phytotoxicity affected that. Now the final thing we're going to be measuring is the yield. So phytotoxicity can also affect the yield. Again, if the plant is growing or developing slower, the yield may not be as high. And yield is super important because many farmers who farm broccoli and cauliflower get paid by the pound. And so you want to have the highest number of pounds possible to get paid the most for all your hard work throughout the season. And so that is going to be the third thing that we'll measure. So that is what is happening in this field. That's my summary. I hope you all found it informative. If anyone is growing broccoli or brassicas this season, good luck and stay tuned for the results.